Hello everyone, happy holidays and welcome to the last episode of the Journal for 2009. I'm your host, Omar Aldib.
Happy holidays as well, and I'm your host Sal Monaco, and we are webcasting live from Centennial College, and we are really excited to be here today.
Guys, we have a great show coming up with lots of cool and interesting stories from our producing show teams.
Yeah, like stories about the ROM's crystal design, poet Rashid Akeem, the card organization that helps the disabled, choreographer Jennifer Abbey, a segment on winter care for dogs, a multi-city drumming event called The Big Beat, author Ted Barris, painters Sharon Wright and Ken Rostek, and a behind-the-scenes look at the music video featuring R&B singer Phil Anderson. Wow! That's a lot of stuff, Omar.
Jam-packed show. You know what you left out though, Sal?
What did I leave out?
We do also have a live performance from Vancouver native pop recording artist Barry Szeto. Anyways, guys, in our first story in the journal, show producer Mike Warner takes a look at the ROM and finds out more about the Michael Lee Chin crystal. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Michael Warner with the Journal. Recently I took a trip to one of Toronto's landmarks, the Royal Ontario Museum. While at the museum, I learned a little more about the exhibits and galleries on display, as well as learning about the museum's new addition, the Crystal. The Royal Ontario Museum, commonly known as the ROM, is the 5th largest museum in North America, containing more than 6 million items and over 40 galleries. It has large collections of dinosaurs, Near Eastern and African art, East Asian art, European history, and Canadian history. It also contains the world's largest collection of fossils from the Burgess Shale, which is mainly comprised of the Canadian Rockies. The fossils making up the shale collection are more than 150,000 in number. Originally, there were 5 major galleries at the ROM, one each for the fields of archaeology, geology, mineralogy, paleontology, and zoology. More recently, though, the museum has undertaken the Renaissance ROM project, which seeks to revitalize galleries and create bold new architecture. The Michael Lee Chin crystal is a direct product of Renaissance ROM. The crystal is the newest addition to the ROM, and many of the exhibits that once inhabited the older parts of the museum have been moved there. The crystal now contains galleries on the age of dinosaurs and the age of mammals, as well as galleries on the Middle East, Africa, and Pacific Asia. Lauren Schneider is a ROM spokesperson who can explain a little more about the Renaissance ROM project and the crystal.
We're standing in the James and Louise Temerty Gallery of the Age of Dinosaurs and the Reed Gallery of the Age of Mammals, and this is one of the new galleries in the Michael Lee Chin crystal. The building of the Michael Lee Chin crystal was part of the Renaissance ROM project, which was a 3-part project. It was renovation of galleries in our heritage building, the creation of an addition, which was the Michael Lee Chin crystal, and then the building of some new galleries in the heritage building. So this was phase 2. The Renaissance ROM program started in 2001 and is pretty much wrapped up in 2010. And this building, the Michael Lee Chin crystal, was opened June 2nd, 2007. So the Michael Lee Chin crystal was designed by world-famous architect Daniel Libeskind. It's 5 interconnected crystals. The story of how he came up with the idea is he was attending a wedding here at the ROM and saw and was inspired by our mineral collection. And so he based the design for the Michael Lee Chin crystal on some of the crystalline minerals he saw.
I hope you enjoyed learning a little more about the Royal Ontario Museum. It is undoubtedly one of Toronto's landmarks, and I hope that you will pay them a visit soon. There is truly much more to learn. For the Journal, I'm Michael Warner.
Hey, you know what, Omar? I might actually go down and check that out. That thing looked pretty cool.
I admit that it is. I mean, it is a $30 million exhibit. Anyways, good job, Mike. So You Think You Could Dance Canada is one of the most popular dance television shows on TV right now. In our next story, producer Zhou features choreographer Jennifer Abbey, who choreographed a segment of one of the shows. Let's check it out.
Again, here. Hit, up, right, left, push, down, cut, down, here, hit, push, up, pull, down,
I started dancing when I was around, I'm gonna say 6, just to be safe. And I wanted to be like Karen Kane, which is this amazing ballerina. And I just didn't have the feet for it. Like I took ballet up till I was like 11, and no, actually I was still 12. And at that point I was getting to points. And my teacher she wasn't saying discouraging me, but she was just telling me I'm gonna have a really hard time doing this. So I should maybe branch off into tap, which I also took tap, or other things. And after that, family, personal life came into play, you know, parents had to split up and everything. So I stopped dancing for a while. And when I got back into it, it happened to be hip hop.
Dancing till you do these moves. Yeah, switch it up. I'm J Beautiful, I'm Hollywood bound. If you ain't got the dough, then you gotta turn around. I'm heavy on the street, my hips don't miss a beat. I'm feeling myself, yeah. Stroking the ego, no, you don't wanna battle me. When you twist around, get you all dizzy.
I started taking hip hop when I was 15 at a studio called DLM, and a year later I got extremely good apparently, and I started teaching little kids. And after that, like 16, I worked at Extreme Fitness teaching like the hip hop classes there, and I've been with both studios ever since, so it's been a while.
So we just hit, here, hit, here this way, kick, snap, kick, and snap, kick, and snap, 2, 3, 4, come on, 2, excellent! Ow!
And don't listen to what anybody says about your dancing, about whatever. It's good to take constructive criticism, but a lot of times people are hoping to see you fail. So you have to remember to keep your mind on what your goal is, because only you can see where you want to be. Nobody else can see where you want to be. You either win with me or you watch me win, you know? So don't let anybody try to take that away from you. So just be persistent. Thinking you can do it, believing in yourself, and just going for it. You have nothing to lose, right? You have nothing to lose. So you just go for it, just do it. Huge condo with windows from the top to the bottom on the lakeshore with thousands in my bank account and millions in a Swiss account. I'm just joking. I hope, but I just see myself continuing, and I see blossoms. Lots of good things and great things happening. Maybe a movie deal, maybe along with the recording contract. I don't know. Maybe engaged.
Welcome back, everybody. She's such an amazing choreographer. Thanks a lot, Leo. Okay, in our next story, producer Arma Yari takes us into the world of visual arts with landscapes painter Sharon Wright. So let's take a look at that now.
I'm a Torontonian who was raised in Kirkland Lake, Northern Ontario. And at a very early age, I remember my grandmother telling my mother that she thought I should pursue an art career because while I was studying ballet, my real interest was in the art projects my grandmother would set for me at her home in Kirkland Lake. I like to think that the landscapes I've done, the figurative drawing work I've done, the portraits I've done are all going to fall into place in this next show. My landscapes, they were necessarily where I was raised. Would speak to locals, would speak to Canadians, and not even all of Canada. They would have spoken to Ontarians, because that's what I knew best, was this landscape. Photography has become more and more important in my work, not just as a tool for painting, but as the end product. I absolutely love photography now. An art gallery in San Jose is interested in the series that I'm producing currently and called The Masks. I am planning on retiring within a year to the Costa Rica area around Jose. I'm not sure where exactly yet, but hopefully I am going to be painting something that has been a passion and photographing the wildlife that I find there.
Hey, that was pretty cool. Thanks, Arma. So if you guys remember, in our very first show, our live performance was a poet by the name of Rashid Akeem. He was so inspirational that one of our producers, Shena Clyne, decided to shoot a follow-up story on him. Let's take a look at that now.
Hello, my name is Rashid Akeem. I'm a 20-year-old poet that's living in Toronto right now. How I got into poetry was basically the influence and the environment I grew up in gave great praise to music, and music being a certain art form that's so related to poetry. I found my talents really soared in that field of writing. The type of poetry I like writing is poetry that deals with certain social issues that touch close to home. I can write about something I've seen today, like say a mother crying over the loss of her child, to a good friend of mine graduating from college and school, accomplishing something that they put so much work into. And just to write, be able to write something about this moment that just gave me so much, made me feel so strong of a way, and then share it with someone who can also relate. I write wherever I may find inspiration. I write poetry basically as a way of expression. I grew up in an environment where it wasn't really praised upon to express your emotions and whatnot. And we all have emotions, and it was my way of keeping my sanity. The main issue I like to touch on with my work is something I feel that everyone else in this world deals with on a regular day basis. This is a thing that I feel that it's natural for everyone to ever question. It's kind of unnatural for people not to ignore it. The topic is fear. There's a quote like saying, "Conquer fear, conquer the world." This quote means basically for one to conquer their own personal fears and doubts is for them to conquer the world, their world. So, because once one has conquered their fears, there's nothing to hold them back. And I like touching on this issue basically because I feel myself dealing with it a lot. The way one may doubt themselves, every decision made, every obstacle that lays in front of me. Will I make it? I would say my biggest fear would be just be another name that comes and goes. To die and not no one know my name. To just be another name, another list, another name on Channel 24. Another black male shot. Dead and gone, and not contributed nothing to the world. I would say that'd be my biggest fear. Right now I'm attending Humber College or Market. I'm being completely honest with you. don't like it. I hate it, matter of fact. I hope to, next fall, be attending Centennial, New York for journalism. Because recently I found my passion in writing. I feel, in a way, with school, society gives this image you have to rush. And I kind of fell victim to that. But I'm not going to blame no one but myself. And I kind of rushed it in school. But in recent years, I found my passion being in writing and voicing my opinion and sharing my opinion. I realized that journalism is probably the best path for myself. Growing up in an urban environment in the city of Toronto, art is so praised upon, and this art form was my natural, the one that was naturally chosen for me, bestowed upon me. And I felt if I was not to choose this art form of poetry, I would be kind of, in a way, denying myself or running from something that was made for me, running from my destiny, in a way.
Thanks, Shena. Wow, Sal, I wish I had the gift of spoken word. But all I can come up is with things like roses are red, violets are blue, then...
Hold up, no. I'm gonna stop you right there. Seriously, that's lame. I can't take you seriously, you saying that stuff, especially in that hat. Like, what's up?
Okay, number one, the hat is awesome. Number two, you have just caused beef, my friend. That line?
Dude.
You stepped in it.
Dude, seriously, we have a long show. Can we just stick to the program?
Talk to
please?
the hand. Talk to the hand.
All right. So anyways, we have lots more coming up, including the card organization for the disabled and a segment on winter care for dogs. But we're gonna take a short break, so keep it on play. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Journal. The Community Association for the Writing for the Disabled, also known as CARD, helps disabled kids and adults to rehabilitate through a unique therapy called therapeutic horseback riding. In this story, our producer Ivan Popov shows us how important horses are to those with special needs. Let's check it out.
CARD stands for the Community Association for Riding for the Disabled, and our mission is to improve the lives of children and adults with disabilities through quality therapeutic riding programs. And within that, we have 350 volunteers, which we would not be able to run our programs without. We have a small, very dedicated group of staff members who work tirelessly to ensure that our mission is carried across to each and every single rider. Our very special therapy horses I've mentioned before, as well as ensuring that all of our horses are donated, whether they're from generous, loving families that have these horses that want to donate them, or for individuals or groups like the IODE, who will give us specific dollars that are to be allocated to purchasing horses. So the purchase of our horses don't come specifically out of our pocket. The idea is for everything to be donated in this facility. We do have $1 million budget annually, which, as you can imagine, is quite large for a nonprofit, especially in a recession, and but working hard to ensure that every horse gets the ultimate care that they possibly can get, as well as all of our riders are obtaining the quality of therapeutic riding that we promise. CARD was opened in 1969, and we were brought to this specific facility in 1979 with the help of Mel Lastman, and have been here ever since. Therapeutic riding is one of those very unique special therapies. It starts off with our hippotherapy program, which is one-on-one with the horse and the rider, and a physiotherapist and or occupational therapist, depending on the rider's needs and goals. So therapeutic riding, the magic happens, or we call it the magical connection happens, specifically with the movement of the horse. So the movement, meaning the horse's 4-beat walk, and that movement directly mimics and or stimulates the human walking gait. So there's nothing else other than a human movement that can mock and or mimic and or stimulate the human walking gait. So we have riders that come in that don't have any truncal control, that are extremely high tone, that have sensory integration issues. And if you're brought into our program, then 100% there will be a difference of the quality of your life once you step out of our program, whether it's as significant and or as small as being able to tie your shoelaces for the first time, or moving from a wheelchair to a walker to walking independently.
We have a very broad spectrum of the disabilities that we work with. We have cognitive, physical, and dual diagnoses. There's almost no disability that we don't work with outside of psychiatric diagnoses, and there's just about no disability that riding isn't good for in some way, whether that's on the ground interacting with the horses or in the saddle.
Our two famous stories, one is by an individual named Dax Adam, and Dax is a young man now in his 20s who was born with cerebral palsy, and he was told by doctors that he would never walk. When he came to CARD as a 4-year-old, he was not mobile. We put him on a horse starting in our hippotherapy program and moved on through the ranks through our rehabilitation program, and then grew a passion towards horses and the sport of dressage within the equine disciplines, and has moved on to going to participate in the Paralympic Games in Athens with his own horse and outside coaches, and is one of our high success stories because he's also not in a wheelchair or a walker any longer. So that's one. The other is a young man who was born with autism and was very low functioning and was nonverbal. And at CARD, we always promote independence. So when you get on your horse for the first time, it can be a little bit scary, whether you're a 4-year-old or you're a 40-year-old. So we always give our riders the opportunity to have some control by telling them if they want the horse to walk, they say walk on. And if they want the horse to stop, they say ho. Now again, for some of our riders that are nonverbal, they'll have signing cards, and or they can say point to walk on or a hand stop to ho. So we always try to promote verbalization. So when this rider got on the horse, we said to him, for lack of privacy, saying, call him Johnny for this moment. So Johnny, when count of 3, we're going to say walk on, and then your horse is going to walk to the letter A, which was ahead, so he could see how far we were walking, because it can get scary, that first bit of movement. So I said, okay, 1, 2, 3, walk on, and he said walk on with us. And Mom and Dad had never heard their son's voice before. So on the mounting block, which is just behind us right now, tears flowing down the face, and we were jumping for joy, and that was within the first 30 seconds of his first therapy program. That huge leap came forward.
Wow, how cool was that? What a beautiful and an amazing organization. Thank you, CARD, for all the help that you give to the disabled. So, it's that time of year again. Winter!
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't get me started on winter. You know how much I hate winter. Seriously, back off.
I know.
I don't want to hear it.
You know what? It's even worse for dog owners, you know? I mean,
all right, yeah, they get the little salt in their paws. I feel bad for them. I do, really do.
Luckily, though, our reporter Jason Jarrett gives us a story on how to keep your dog safe this winter. Let's check it out.
We love them. We provide for them. And with winter finally here, we give them the special care they deserve. But what exactly should we dog owners look out for when keeping our friends healthy during the winter season? I spoke with Dr. Palerm, veterinarian associate at the animal clinic, for his insight on how to keep your dog healthy over the winter season.
So you have to, when taking them outside, think about the time that you're spending with them outside, not let them out for too long. And a lot of people, and we see this I think a lot more nowadays, will tend to dress their dogs up. I don't think that's necessary, but if you're going to be taking them out for an extended period, it wouldn't be a bad idea though. Most commonly what we'll have in this clinic, let's say, would be problems with the dog's nails. I find that as winter drags on, I think this partly is due to the salt. The nails can get really dried out and become much more brittle. So I think any dog owner who lives in the city has seen their dog walk through a salty patch, and it obviously does cause pain to the dogs. They'll start walking on 3 feet, stop dead in their tracks, things like that. It tends to irritate and dry out the foot pads. And this can cause a good deal of pain to the dog. And then the other thing is they'll tend to lick their feet because dogs tend to like salty flavors, and I think it can upset their stomach also. When you come back from a walk, I usually recommend washing their feet off to get the salt off. So that way you're cleaning them off and you're preventing the dog from ingesting any of the salt.
While some dogs need looking after, Others can't wait to jump into the snow.
Well, Huskies are a breed that love the winter. So for him, it's really a lot of outside time, minimum 4 times a day on weekdays, and then as much as I can during the weekends. You know, just standard things like wiping off his paws after he's been outside. He lets me know what he needs. So if it's outside time, I know that. And as far as care in the winter for the Huskies, it's just a lot of outside exercise, getting them into the snow, and basically just spending a lot of time with them, making them feel like they're part of the pack.
Here are some pointers to take away from this segment. Wash your dog's feet after taking walks. This prevents salt damage. Also, moisturizing balms like Vaseline also help from preventing damage. Dogs with short fur may need additional clothing to maintain body heat. It may look silly, but it provides a world of comfort for them. Check dog nails for brittleness. Cold and salt may wear them down. And finally, limit your walks on those very cold days. For smaller breeds, they should be out for no more than 30 minutes. Continuous lifting of the paws are also signals of pain and discomfort. So, to dog owners and future owners alike, make sure you take special care during the winter months.
Remember, all dogs really need to be looked after properly. Thank you again, Jay. We have more stories coming up, and do not forget our live performance from pop recording artist Barry Szeto, because if you do, I will come to you. So keep it on play with the journal.
Welcome back, everyone. So, Omar, as you might have noticed, it's about a week until Christmas. I was wondering, do you have a wish list?
Now, hold on. Are you looking for my real wish list or my real wish list?
To be honest, I can't decide. Why don't you flip a coin for it?
All right. I don't have a coin.
Looks like you're gonna have to flip for air.
All right, let's flip the air.
Oh, dude, it landed on tails.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is what I want. I wanted an island, a Dodge Viper, $1 million. I wanted a horse because horses are amazing. Oh, I wanted some new clothes, some new shoes, world peace.
Hold on. You saying world peace? You want world peace?
I'm materialistic, but I love world peace.
That's kind of deep, dude. Seriously? That's deep. That's what the world needs, for real. So let us brighten things up a bit. Our producer Cole Armstrong covered a story, The Big Beat, a multi-city drumming event for drummers, raising funds for the Daily Bread Food Bank. Let's check that out right now.
The second annual Big Beat event took place in November at Polson Pier in the Sound Academy. Drummers from all over gathered to spend a day doing what they love for a charitable cause, to raise money for the Daily Bread Food Bank. I spoke to Ryan, the coordinator from organizers Just Drums, to find out what the event was all about.
Basically what this is a multi-city drumming event to help break the record for the most drummers playing a simultaneous beat at the same time.
The event featured drummers of all styles and skill set, as well as guest appearances by 3 Days Grace drummer Neil Sanderson, of Jeff Healey and Randy Bachman fame Al Webster, as well as Juno Award winner and Humber College teacher Paul DeLong, who made the event complete with a stunning solo.
Well, last year, the charity being the Daily Bread Food Bank, every single dollar that we managed to raise from all the participants, which I believe is about $6,200 last year.
How this works, guys, is we're going to do some beats together. We're going to play along with Craig G, our DJ over here, get some beats going along with that. We'll start with Craig.
I want you guys to think of something that's easy for everybody to play, something that everybody can play, and shout it out. Now, Alexa Fire isn't that easy. Green Day. Good call.
And when you get that many drummers in one room, all locked in playing at the same time, it's really a cool you know, cool vibe and atmosphere in the room. Everyone's having a good time playing. It's for a good cause, and yeah, you know, it's a lot of fun. You know, come on a Sunday and you know, bang away. It's cool.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
This year, even more money was raised and even more drummers participated. Over 1,400. Only in its second year, everyone involved believes it can only keep getting bigger and louder.
Sal, that was crazy. All those drummers, but how cool. You know what? It's even cooler that the Daily Bread Food Bank, you know, so many people depend on it. Well, anyway, in our next story, reporter Mikhail Petgrave takes us behind the scenes of a music video featuring Toronto R&B artist Phil Anderson. Let's check it out now, guys.
Sitting here thinking about you, all the things that I wanna do. Baby, I can't help myself. Those sexy eyes, your pretty smile, tell me what I've gotta do. You've got me saying. Hey Journal, I want to thank y'all for coming out today on my music video shoot, I Want You. I'm going to take you guys backstage and give you some exclusive behind the scenes footage. Let's go. Sitting here thinking about you, all the things that I wanna do. Baby, I can't help myself. Those sexy eyes, your pretty smile, tell me what I've gotta do. You've got to say I want you, I need you. Tell me what you want, baby. Yeah. Grew up, just loving their music, and I just wanted to pursue it as I got older. It was always in me, but from a child growing up, I just kind of wanted to be a child. But as I got older, and I just got very, very influenced by music more, and I wanted to pursue it. I knew then that I wanted to pursue music, and that's why
I heard the beat from the producer, a friend of mine, Soulful, and I just got inspired to write the song because it was just so smooth and groovy, and the lyrics just came to me instantly. I just started writing the song, and I got my good friend Damien, singer, songwriter, producer, to help me put the vocal arrangements together, and we just came up with like all these great ideas for the song, and it is what it is today, and a lot of people like it, and I'm really excited about it.
I want to wish Anderson the best of luck with this project, and I know it's going to be successful. It's just a matter of time, basically.
I've known Capital K for about four or 5 years. He has an amazing talent, and I can't wait for people to hear the kind of stuff that he's been working on, because the stuff he did on my song I Want You is nothing like what he's gonna be displaying with his own music. He's a really talented cat.
What would it take for me to make you mine? I provide you love and trust, just have a good time. A shot of Hennessy that we can bump and grind, yeah.
You got to know how much I love you. I'm ready to. You got to know how much I need you. I want you. Next Level, the dance crew, they left halfway through the shoot, and it was very destructive. It was rough because for a long time I just didn't know what to do. Because I mean, the sharpshooter was saying that he had some ideas to do some other stuff with them, but they left the set and they lost opportunities. But unfortunately, I can't show you the video, so stay tuned. 2010.
So today was successful. I can't wait to see the finished product. I want to thank you guys for chilling with me today on my I Want You video shoot. That's the wrap. See ya.
Hey, welcome back to the journal, guys. Thanks for that exciting look behind the scenes, Mikhail. It's good.
Now, in our next journal story, producer Leo Zhou features painter Kurt Rostek, whose paintings have been exhibited in Toronto, Beijing, New York, with a career that expands all the way back to the early 80s. Now, let's get into it.
Inspirations come from many places. They come from myself and my own life, my own travels, my own beliefs. I believe in the eyes, not just looking out, but looking in. So there's a lot of the subconscious involved. But nonetheless, I really do put an effort into having my work being somewhat universal so that everybody can look at it and get something from it. This painting goes back to a series that was done in 2006. It really explores an issue of the flag, the banner, an icon, but it also explores, again, memory. As a child, I first started drawing and painting birds. And then there's this baseball cap, and what does it contain? The mind, thoughts, sight, eyes, mouth, all of our expressions as humans. And here's this bird, and he's approaching. Is he a predator? Or does he just want to make friends? Do we know? This painting is something a little different for me. It was one that was done with great affection. This was a painting I painted for my wife last year for Christmas. It's a source of energy and growth, birth, rebirth, death, the entire circle of it. And that's why I've chosen to make these sunflowers all intertwining and wrapped around one another, as it shows interconnectedness with our lives and how we are connected to each other and to our garden. Well, this is my newest piece. Again, it's from the Canadian Icons series. It's done on very thick plywood, 3/4 of an inch thick. You can see the router ring in it in various places, the waterfall, through the fish. This is something I'm really happy with how this is working. There's a lot of painting left to do on it. The sky and the mountains are all melting together. It's a really foggy, steamy day in the mountains out west. The salmon is on her way home to where she was born to give birth and then die. The circle goes around again. The river is fairly turbulent. White caps are carved into the plywood with the router again. Little golden pebbles on the bottom. I've also, in the steam at the bottom of the waterfall here again, used my letter stamps, Y-E-S, yes, everywhere it's yes, it can happen. I put a lot more time in planning my works because they're all in series. I'll do a series of 5, 6, 10, 12, whatever. When the sentences ended, I put a period there. So Yeah, it's like I said, it's a central core idea I work from and work out from there. I've worked on ideas of communications, travel. Right now I'm working on a series that I call Canadian Icons, which are kind of subconscious images that I hold pretty dear as a Canadian. One thing I learned very early on, after I finished my education, was work hard. My father was a very hard-working individual. He had me working with him. He was a carpenter when I was 12 years old on weekends and summers. So there was always this instillment of working hard. And if I were to leave any advice and/or legacy behind, I would say I would like to be thought of as at least a hard-working artist.
That was some really creative stuff, and such a hardworking artist. Thanks a lot, Leo. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break. Coming up next, our final journal story for the year, and a live performance by Barry Szeto. So keep it on play, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the journal. Okay guys, it's our final story. Story producer Reza Shojaei spoke with Centennial professor and acclaimed author Ted Barris about his new book, Breaking the Silence, Untold Veteran Stories from the Great War to Afghanistan. Let's take a look.
I've spent a good deal of my life researching, interviewing, gathering information about the stories of battle, whether it was the First World War, the Second World War, the Korean War, or more recently the Afghanistan mission. I sensed that, having done nearly 3,000 interviews with veterans, there might be some room in my life and in my writing, and maybe for the people who read my books, for the context of all of that. In other words, some sense of what it was like to meet veterans, how I managed to break down that silence that the title suggests, how they felt more comfortable with me and why they began to talk, which pathologically they don't. So this book, Breaking the Silence, just out this fall, is a book about the battle to get the stories. And I remember information I got from a man named Louis Buck, whose brother and he, Louis and Billy Buck, had been members of the Canadian Expeditionary Force. And their job overseas was as stretcher bearers. They would go in as a battle was raging or at the end of it and bring out the wounded and the dead, and they would bury the dead. And they had this process where if they came across parts of bodies or, you know, the remains that couldn't be identified, they would simply put them in a mass grave. And then they would take a glass bottle and indicate where these bodies were found and if any of the dog tags or identifications were left. And they would bury the men and then place these bottles, which contained the information, protected the information for as long as possible. The Second World War was somewhat different in the sense that the men and women whom I interviewed came through it. There was some understanding of post-traumatic stress disorder. There was some understanding that you just didn't shake it off, although they weren't quite certain how to deal with it. One of the men I interviewed and I befriended from the Second World War, a man named Stephen Bell. He had come from a place called Govan, Saskatchewan. He was a farmer and came out of the Depression in the 1930s without anything. He had, you know, no clothing, no money enough for food, no job, and he leaves the prairies and he stumbles into Toronto, and the first opportunity he has to join the military, because it's going to be 3 square meals, a uniform, and a meaningful job, and a paycheck, he takes it. And he begins to train, and he ends up overseas when the Second World War is declared in 1939, 1940, and he's training, and he ends up on the beaches of Dieppe in August of 1942, which was a debacle. It was a total disaster. There were 5,000 troops there, most of whom were Canadians, and 3,000 of them were either killed, captured, or missing at the end of the day's action. It was the 9 bloodiest hours in Canadian military history, and Stephen Bell survives it, but is captured and spends the rest of the war from August 1942 until May of 1945 in a prisoner of war camp in Germany. I wanted to make my book, Breaking the Silence, kind of bring it up to the present day and include veterans from the Afghanistan mission, and I coincidentally was able to find 3 Canadians who had survived the friendly fire incident in 2002. It was as if I was interviewing all of the other 3,000 interviews I've done with veterans, with men who'd gone through the First War, the Second War, the Korean War, because the traumas were the same, the uncomfortableness was the same, the difficulty of dealing with it and articulating it was the same. There was that nervousness in their voices and that sense of loss. Breaking the Silence, the most recent book, is a big departure from the writing of the previous 15 books, because all of the previous books are books of history or about specific events. The wartime books have been about battles and so on. And I've never used the word I unless it's in a quotation. I've always stayed out of the books. I've never been the sort of storyteller where I get myself involved in either coloring or interpreting what I got from the interviews. And it's funny, you know, there's an old expression about writing being a very lonely occupation, that it's just you and the keyboard and your imagination. For me, it's just the opposite. I'm never lonely, because I've got all those incredible voices of all these people I've interviewed, and they're all in my office with me. The tapes and the diaries and the memoirs and the transcripts and the Post-its on the wall, they all come to life and remind me what it was like to interview that person in the first place.
Welcome back to The Journal, guys. Get ready to be blown away. Introducing Vancouver native, Toronto-based pop recording artist Barry Szeto, performing here live on The Journal, his debut single, This Is Our Night. Get ready to get up and dance. Take it away, Barry.
This is the first single here, y'all. Alright, party people. You ready? Alright, Journal. Here we go. Now let's all have a wicked time. The opportunity to shine. Don't forget to dance all night. Hey! We can everybody gets. Let Mr. DJ take care of the rest. Found my grainy partner on the dance floor. Make your body sweat, leave ya once more. My sexy ladies and my pimpin' fellas. It's about damn time to show you stuff, it's a must. Party's just getting started, so let's make the most of it. No time to rest. So move your body, baby, you're so lovely when your body touches mine. It's almost like you're sexy, so promiscuous. Damn, you look so fine. Hey! Let's all have a wicked time. The opportunity to shine. Don't forget to dance all night. And I don't wanna see no fights. If I do get out of my sight, don't leave a hate up in me. This is our night. Oh, come on. This is our night. Alright, y'all. Now listen. Come on. Don't stop. We're just warming up. If you're feeling kinda hot, take your damn clothes off. Don't feel no shame when you're around me, babe. Give it the time of your life all through the night. Put your body to all the talking. Still when the music's banging. Show you I do you no harm. Cause I'm a guy who's born nothing but charm. Hey, hey. When your body touches mine. So promiscuous, damn you look so fine. Hey. Have a wicked time. The opportunity to shine. Don't forget to dance all night. And I don't wanna see no fights. If I do get out of my sight, don't leave a hate up in here. This is our night. Come on now. Hey, this is our night. Alright, y'all. Let me tell you a little something now. Come on. Say move your body, body to the beat. Baby, don't be shy, cause I'm here to please. Let me work the body like a 9 to 5. Gonna make you holler, scream and shout, oh my. Don't be looking at nobody else. Baby, I ain't looking at nobody else. My hands ain't leaving that sexy waistline. Keep those hips going to the baseline. What? Oh! Come on, yo! Times the opportunity to shine. Don't forget to dance all night. And I don't wanna see no fights. If I do get out of my sight, leave a haters up in here. Alright, y'all. Hey, hey. This is our night. Come on now. Alright, party people. One time. Thank you so much to the journal, y'all. We is reggaeton style, people. Yes, yes. Thank you, sir.
I got my little groove on too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I got one question for you.
Yes.
So I bought my 2010 calendar. You know how I like the ladies? You know how I like the ladies, Barry?
Yes,
So,
yes, don't we all?
I go to July and there's this lovely Asian girl here.
Marina,
and then
Victoria.
down here at the bottom,
Yes.
I see this face.
Yes.
Can you tell me about
so,
this?
all right.
Please.
So basically, what this calendar is, One Stop Photo Shoot, or the people of the One Stop Photo Shoot is doing this annual calendar, which all proceeds go to the Breast Cancer Society, and they have a compilation CD which features 12 artists, and I just so happen to be one of them.
Where's the mic? Where's the audio?
Yes.
Keep going. All right, so yeah.
Marina Victoria's was actually featured in my music video.
Really?
This is our night. Yes.
I think I've
Yes.
looked that up on
Look it up.
Facebook.
Yep. YouTube, Facebook, whatever.
So I was just wondering because like put it up, on my wall just to see how it looks for the new year. And my mom walks in, she's like, "Who's this at the bottom?" Like, she's like, "You swinging both ways?" I'm like, "Oh, mom, no, I bought the calendar specifically for the ladies. I did not know music artists
But you'll see
were
other
featured
bands
in there.
featured on it at the
You know what I
bottom.
mean?
But
Anyways, I got one
Yes.
quick question. Your sound, it's kind of unique. What are some of your
Yes.
inspirations?
Well, I started off singing mostly like pop R&B. I grew up listening to a lot of Usher, Luther Vandross, Stevie Wonder. But lately, I've been really infatuated with the whole dancehall, reggaeton, island sounding stuff. And so I decided to release a song that has a bit of that reggaeton style to it, and something different, something Toronto's never heard yet. So the response has been pretty cool.
Not bad. Can you tell us something about your new music video?
My music video, we just shot it in a couple months back, so right now it's up on YouTube, up on BPM TV. It's been playing in certain places in Asia as well, so we're hitting up Much Music and MTV, and hopefully it'll be good,
Not bad. I got one more thing for you.
Yes.
Barry, what's going on for Barry Szeto in the new year?
In the new year, oh my gosh. So my manager and my team, we are actually working on getting a couple of, we're doing a little mini tour in the States,
Oh, you're going to the States,
we
eh?
are doing
Big
a couple of
coming
things in Miami, Florida, Vegas, LA, and so yeah, man.
Not bad. All right.
Represent Toronto the best way we can.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Barry.
Thank you so much.
Well, we have reached the end of our show. Omar?
Guys,
What do you got?
I can't believe it, Sal. You just told me we've reached the end of the show.
I know, man. Aren't you excited? We're finally done.
I am.
We're good.
But you know what? It's a sad time.
I'll miss you, buddy.
But don't despair, because you can watch the Journal episode live. And don't worry, we will be back with a new crew, new stories at the same time, 4 p.m., webcasting live from Centennial College. Thank you once again, Barry. Barry, thank you once again.
Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. Guys, take care. Happy holidays. And have a safe and happy new year from all of us here on the Journal. Remember, keep it on play.
Barry?
All right, people, we're going to slow it down now. Bring back a little soul. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. I bet no one can touch you like I can. I bet no one can save you like I can. I'd risk my life for you. No one's ever meant to me like you have. I'd give anything in the world to kiss your soft, sweet hand.
I'll make sure you'll be satisfied in all the right ways. And all the time we share, I promise I won't waste. Come closer now, wanna show you what I have in store, babe. Don't walk away, baby, I can be gentle, warm, and understanding. Take my hand now, wanna share with you all my thoughts and fantasies. I bet no one can love you like I do, cause I know you're the one. Baby, I love how you keep it real, and I love the way you make me feel. Do you know how you complete me? And I don't mean just underneath the sheets. I know you never mean for me, and that's no doubt. And I'm not playing among your hands, you will out your mouth. You know how to appreciate what I'm all about, and that's why I'm singing to you now, cause I am in love. Come closer now, wanna show you what I have in store, babe. Don't walk away, baby, I can be gentle, warm, and understanding. Take my hand now, wanna share with you all my thoughts and fantasies. I bet no one can love you like I do, cause I know you're the one. I wanna be the only one you run to. I wanna make love to you under the moon. I wanna be the one who drives you crazy, cause I go crazy when you're not near